Hafaday Tito Phi Show, good morning and welcome to your house chamber, to all those in the viewing public and all those on social media platforms and on cable. Welcome. I now call this seventh day, second regular session to order. Let us all please rise for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you, everyone. I now recognize the clerk to please call the roll.
Representative Vada. Representative Aldan. Representative Atal.
Present.
Representative Benavente. Representative Angelo Komatsu.
Present.
Representative Diego Komatsu.
Present.
Representative Joel Komatsu. Representative Vicente Komatsu.
Present.
Representative Castro.
Estia.
Representative Joseph Flores.
Present.
Representative Marissa Flores.
Present.
Representative Manglonia.
Present.
Representative Vogel.
Present.
Representative Omar.
Present.
Representative Probst.
Present.
Representative Sablan.
Estia.
Representative Cindy Claus. Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Representative Yang Tamay.
Yangi.
Representative Yumo. Mr. Speaker, 19 members are present and 1 member is absent.
Thank you, clerk. With 19 members present, that constitutes a quorum to move forward with today's session. Thank you for that. Can we just take a real quick recess? Recess. We'll rise back from recess. I apologize for that. Yes, clerk, please note that Representative Patrick is excused for today's session. Thank you. We now move down to item number 2, public comments. The podium is open. For anyone out there that would like to give public comments, please state your name and the entity you represent. You'll be given 3 minutes, and should you need more time and there's no further public comments, we can accommodate that. If you have written comments and would like to submit it for a public record, please submit it to the Sergeant at Arms, who would give it to the clerk for record. Thank you.
Understood. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Moffness Jr. I represent maybe the students of NMC. I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve the representatives of the people as you discuss issues that have a significant impact on the public and seek resolutions that will benefit the people of the Sinai. I want to extend my best wishes to all of you and hope that your discussions lead to positive outcomes. That being said, I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Moffness. Any more podium still open for public comments? Okay, it looks like there's nothing further under public comments. We'll move down to item number 3, adoption of journals, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under item 3, adoption of journals, we have 1 item for 5th day, second regular session journal dated September 25th, 2023.
Thank you, clerk. I now recognize the floor leader for the motion to adopt journals. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the adoption of the 5th day, second regular session journal dated September 25, 2023. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of 5th day, second regular session journal dated September 25th, 2023, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt the journal, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Journals hereby adopted. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to introduction of bills. We have none. We now move down to item number 5, introduction of resolutions. And the chair would like to introduce House Resolution number 23-8 to recognize Chief Petty Officer Ignacio Itibus Yiftig for his extensive military service in the United States Coast Guard and honor him on the occasion of his retirement. pre-filed by myself, and if there's no objection, I'd like to introduce this as the committee of the whole.
No objection.
All right, thank you, colleagues. Clerk, please note that, and it'll be on today's resolution calendar for action. With nothing further under House resolution, we move down to messages from the governor. We have none. Senate communications, we have none. Item number 8, House communications. Clerk.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Under item 8, House Communication, we have 2 communications from the House. House Communication 23-58 and 23-59.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussions under House communications? Ready? Okay, thank you, members. We now move down to item number 9, communications from the judicial branch. We have none. Item number 10, communications from department and agencies. We have none. Item number 11, miscellaneous communications. Clerk.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Under item 11, miscellaneous communication, we have 1 item, miscellaneous communication 23-41.
Thank you, Clerk. Any discussions under miscellaneous communications? Ready? All right, thank you. We move down to item number 12, reports of standing committees, and I recognize the clerk.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Under item 12, reports of standing committees, we have 6 committee reports, standing committee reports 2342 through 2347.
Thank you, Clerk. I now recognize the floor leader for the adoption of standing committee reports. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-42, reporting on House Bill number 23-41, entitled "To Establish an Excise Tax for Betel Nut, Areca Nut, and Lime Mix Afok or Wish." Did I say that right? Wish? Wish. Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that the House pass the bill in the form of House Bill number 23-41, HG1. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 23-42, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right, all in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-42, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 23-42 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-43, reporting on House Bill number 23-49, entitled "To Provide the Legislature with Access to Executive Branch Financial Information for Budgeting, Appropriation, and Expenditure Oversight." Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that the House pass this bill in its current form. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 23-43, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-43, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 23-43 is hereby adopted. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-44, reporting on House Local Bill number 23-21, entitled "To Reappropriate $4,026 allotted under Saipan Local Law 19-3 and $40,334 allotted under Saipan Local Law 20-26 and for other purposes." Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that this House Local Bill 23-21 be transmitted to the Saipan and Northern Islands Legislative Delegation for its action. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made by the floor leader to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-44, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-44, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 23-44 is hereby adopted and moves to its proper delegation. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-45, reporting on House Local Bill number 23-25, entitled "To Reappropriate $204,500 allotted under Saipan Local Law 20-26, specifically under Business Unit 7186W, $190,000 allotted under Saipan Local Law 20-26, specifically under Business Unit 7186Y, and $109,400 allotted under Saipan Local Law 21-07, specifically under Business Unit 4963O, and for other purposes. Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that House Local Bill 23-25 be transmitted to the Saipan and Northern Islands Legislative Delegation for its action. So moved.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 2345, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 2345, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report number 23-45 is hereby adopted. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-46, reporting on House Local Bill number 23-27, entitled "To Reappropriate $50,000 allotted under Saipan Local Law 20-26, Section 2R1, specifically under Business Unit 7190D, and for other purposes." Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that House Local Bill 23-27 be transmitted to the Saipan and Northern Islands Legislative Delegation for its action. So moved.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 23-46, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 2346, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 23-46 hereby adopted. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And last on our list, I now move for the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 23-47, reporting on House Local Bill number 23-28, entitled "To Reappropriate $21,448 allotted under Rota Local Law 22-04 and $40,000 allowed under Rota Local Law 22-09, and for other purposes." Your House Committee on Ways and Means recommends that House Local Bill 23-28 be transmitted to the Rota Legislative Delegation for its action. So moved.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of Standing Committee Report 23-47, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right. All in favor to adopt Standing Committee Report 23-47, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Standing Committee Report 23-47 is hereby adopted. Thank you, colleagues, and that takes care of item number 12. We move down to item number 13, reports of special and conference committees. We have none. Item number 14, unfinished business. We have none. Item number 15, resolution calendar. I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-8, a House resolution to recognize Chief Petty Officer Ignacio Itubus Yiftig for his extensive military service in the United States Coast Guard and honor him on the occasion of his retirement. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the adoption of House Resolution number 23-8, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor for the adoption of House Resolution 23-8, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Resolution 23-8 is hereby adopted. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 16, bill calendar, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for the passage of House Bill number 23-41, HD1, Standing Committee Report number 23-42, a bill for an act to establish an excise tax for betel nut, areca nut, and lime mix, afok or buesh. So moved.
Thank you, floor leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 23-41, House Draft 1, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Fata? Yes. Representative Baldon? Yes. Representative Lato?
Yes.
Representative Benavente?
Again.
Representative Angelo Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Diego Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Joel Camacho?
Okay.
Representative Vicente Camacho?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Yes.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Are we voting to put it on the calendar or voting on it as
Voting
a?
for final passage.
Oh, no.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Probst?
Yes.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative Yanktamai?
Present.
Representative Yumo?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 17 members voted yes. 1 member voted no. 1 member is present and 1 member is absent.
Thank you, Clerk. With 17 members voting in favor, House Bill number 23-41, House Draft 1 hereby passes the House. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now move for passage House Bill number 23-49, Standing Committee Report number 23-43, a bill for an act to provide the legislature with access to executive branch financial information for budgeting, appropriation, and expenditure oversight. So moved.
Thank you, Floor Leader. A motion has been made for the passage of House Bill number 23-49, and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? Okay, Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Vada? Representative Faldan? Representative Atal?
Yes.
Representative Benavente?
Yes.
Representative Angelo Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Diego Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Joel Komatsu?
Hungan.
Representative Vicente Komatsu?
Yes.
Representative Castro?
Yes.
Representative Joseph Flores?
Yes.
Representative Marissa Flores?
Yes.
Representative Manglonia?
Yes.
Representative Vogel?
Yes.
Representative Omar?
Hungan.
Representative Probst?
Yes.
Representative Sablan?
Hungan.
Representative Yanktamai?
Awar.
Representative Yumo? Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 19 members present voting yes, House Bill number 23-49 hereby passes the House. Thank you, colleagues. We now move down to item number 17, miscellaneous business. And the floor is open. Recognize Representative John Paul Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to, for the record, thank Mr. Eric Mofnas Jr., who provided public comments. Mr. Mofnas is one of the students that myself, Rep. Marissa Flores, Chairman Ralph Yumo, and Chairman Angelo Komatsu were able to provide testimonies on their class at NMC on the functions of the legislature and the current issues of the Northern Marianas Islands. And if I may ask, when we adjourn, if it's not too much to ask, that we have a photo up with Mr. Mofnas after we adjourn. Thank you.
No objection. Thank you for that, colleagues. And Mr. Mafnes, I hope you've enjoyed your experience or enjoying your experience so far. Recognize Representative Manglonia.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Thank you, Speaker. And thank you, Mr. Mofnas, for joining us this morning. I apologize. I didn't have a chance to, I guess, clarify my stance on the bill regarding the taxation for betel nut. First of all, I want to give my utmost respect to the author of the bill, Rep. Flores, as well as the rest of my colleagues. But the reason why I voted no was simply because I do feel in my heart that I guess with everything that's going on currently in our society with inflation and austerities and all these other measures, I just don't feel like raising taxes is the solution at this moment. I do understand that we are in a pinch and we do need to get creative and we do need to find ways to generate revenue. I just feel, as talking to my constituents and the people that I represent, that raising taxes is just not in the best interest for the people. So I just wanted to respectfully say that, and also, again, respectfully give my utmost respect for Representative Flores. I know this is a tough decision, but I did want to follow what I truly feel in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Magnolia. Well said. Floor Leader? No, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Mofnas, welcome to your house, and we're glad to see you. And Thank you again for attending today. Unfortunately for you, it's a short session, so even better, even sweeter. Um, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, are very grateful. I think we all should be very grateful that we kind of dodged a bullet. We were preparing for a typhoon, and it passed. And fortunately, we got updates from our chairwoman Juliogu, who said Rota's okay. I mean, it could have been so much worse. And I'm grateful for all the people preparing and all the efforts that went into it. Nonetheless, yesterday when I went around the precinct and looked at things, I came across something that was pretty disturbing, and that was boxes and boxes and boxes of PPEs that are all just out and basura right now. It's just trash. And I thought about the millions of dollars that was spent on that. You know, some of these boxes dated from 3 years ago, never used, never opened, but stored. You know how much that storage cost the seat of my taxpayers? $35,000 a month to store these boxes in a warehouse. $35,000 for the past 3 years. That's over $1 million just for storage alone. For one warehouse. The reason why why I'm bringing this up is because we just had our governor come over this morning to discuss the upcoming challenges. Some of them that deal with well, there's several, but one of them coming up is, of course, healthcare, Aetna, and so many other issues where we're coming up with money. But we have millions of dollars that are squandered, sitting in Cobreville, being rotted out. Now, the reason why Homeland Security took it out was they said we're not going to spend $35,000 a month anymore for storing PPEs that nobody needs or maybe expired. But the question of the matter is, when we look at all the waste from the past years of all this ARPA and federal money from the Stipend CARES Act and everything, no one is held responsible for it. That's my frustration today, and it's been my frustration from day one. No accountability for it. So while we're coming up with ideas on how to make more money for the state of Mai through unpopular taxes, nobody wants to tax betel nut. Even people that chew betel nut told me, don't you vote yes for that, okay? Because I love betel nut. I said, I'm sorry, but come up with some solutions. Give me solutions. I'm asking as a representative, not just here, but I want to know, how can we focus and raise money, much needed revenue, without raising any taxes whatsoever? Raising taxes are never popular. I totally hate it. I can't stand it. I don't want to raise beer taxes or any taxes. But give me an alternative. Give me something that I can go with to my people that I go out every day and see. So my frustration is the stuff that's rotting down in Cobreville, in Precinct 1 that I proudly represent, and it's sitting there. Millions of dollars squandered away, but somebody got rich off of it. Somebody made millions of dollars, and they continue to order despite having all of that. Waste upon waste upon waste. And we don't hear anything from the federal government. Zero. Nothing from FBI, nothing from the United States Attorney, nothing. So this is going to continue. We're going to continue to see waste and instant millionaires until somebody is held responsible for that kind of misspending. And I'm heated because that's right in my backyard. That's in our precinct. Just dumped there, and it's going to be left for how long? How much is it going to cost for us to dispose of that adequately and properly? You can't just go throw it in the transfer station. Doesn't work that way. So yeah, when we're going to come up with solutions together, let's come up with some alternatives to raising taxes. I pay enough for beer as it is. I don't want to pay more. But I'm willing to do so if there's no other alternatives. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, thank you for allowing me to be so passionate, but I really hope something is done about all of that misspending. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Floor is still open for Okay, recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Floor Leader, for that grim reminder of all this waste going on and has been going on for years. Again, we're not here to point fingers, but we're here to provide solutions. And I thank my colleague from Precinct 5, who, respectfully made his vote to vote no on the increase of bid on nut tax. However, when we're faced with situations such as this, anything unpopular, such as raising taxes, will not be supported by the mass majority. However, when you're talking about the inflation and you're talking about the situation we're in, we've got two choices. Number one, raise taxes. Number two, layoff. But I think we all agree that we don't want to lay off anybody. We don't want to close our government. We did reduce hours so that we could still protect our people, protect their pockets, and give them an opportunity to work. So whether it's going to be unpopular or not, we are here. We made the decision. And sorry, Floor Leader, but there's another bill coming up to raise taxes on container tax, and it's going to affect those who drink soft drink and beer. So again, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get the same remarks from some people that don't like it. But what else do we have to do? Second, you're talking about your precinct 1 with all these PPEs wasted. Let me remind this general public that I got a casino in my precinct that just sitting there doing nothing. And all those people responsible for that are still kind of just nowhere. No one's held accountable for the inability to ensure that this business or this industry is successful. I've got that monstrosity of this building that sits there in the middle of Precinct 3. So while we talk about PPEs and waste, I'm going to talk about that building that sits right in the center of the tourist district that does absolutely nothing. But it's an eyesore for everybody to see. So yeah, I'm willing to have more discussion about what the solutions are for everybody else, because there's still a lot more taxes. There's still a lot more solutions that this body can come up with. And and I'll keep saying it again, as long as we work together, we're okay. But if raising taxes for Biddlenut is going to be a problem, then give me a solution to figure out how we're going to support the medical referral for all those people that have to go to get their oral cancer treatments. Give me something. I stand with Floor Leader. If you can't give us a solution, then by all means, my office is open to hear a discussion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Thank you. And before we move forward with this, this is not to be debated. Okay, it's not this item of the agenda is not about debates. I'm just making it clear. Okay, Representative Julie Ogle.
Thank you, Speaker. This is definitely non-debatable. But I just want to express take this opportunity to express our heartfelt appreciation to the Governor, Honorable Governor Palacios, Lieutenant Governor Apateng, and the Honorable Mayor Aubrey Holcook, and all the responders and those that are at the emergency command centers that took their time away from their families to make sure that the community of the Sinai, especially Rhoda, is safe and is prepared for the typhoon Bulletin. The governor, according to the governor this morning, I spoke to him. He did a trip down to Rhoda with the other responders, and he did assured that Rhoda is all good. And as we speak, the mayor and other agencies, department agencies and directors are assessing the damages right now, but it's all in good hands. Thank you for the time and appreciate everything.
Thank you, Chairwoman Ogle. I recognize Representative Manny Castro.
First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to our um, linemen, and all our employees at the power plants throughout the CNMI, for also the ground crew that helped prune a lot of the trees, which helped prior to this storm. Our power did go out in precinct 2, and but it was back on um, not too long. So I was just looking at some of those trees that had, if CUC didn't come in and trim them like a month ago, we probably would have down lines. So again, thank you to the Commonwealth Utilities Corporation, all the people out there at the power plant, sewer, water, and also the linemen and everyone involved. Um, in addition, on a side note, in regards to the bill that we just passed, in regards to taxing Bironat and Afuk, um, to my understanding, this is not imposing taxes on locally sourced Bironat. Is that correct, Rep. Flores? Okay. Um, so to all the farmers out there and people that want to help improve the economy, start planting some Bironat, and maybe we can't do anything about the Afuk because it's illegal to harvest coral, but the more locally sourced pugwa we get, the better it's going to be for our economy and BGR. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Manny Castro. Floor is still open under miscellaneous. Ready? Repata, did you? Oh, I thought you were. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Along with Rep. Manny Custer, just want to thank our people for their diligence in getting us prepared for this storm. But more importantly, obviously, there's a lot of concerns with the challenge that we face here in the Commonwealth, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. But we have a trip that's heading out to APIL in Chuk, and I'd like to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker. You'll be ascending to the position of Vice President of APIL, and I believe you'll be bringing a delegation to APIL, and with that delegation, we're going to bring our concerns to the table, the forefront with the APIL brothers and sisters in the Blue Continent, and share some solutions. I'm sure that we face the same issues with our brothers and sisters in the region, and it'd be very important that we bring up the issues that we face here in the CNMI, so we can have a voice with API on a true position in a larger scale that can be presented not just to our brothers and sisters in the region, but to the rest of the world, and that's a good start for us right now, especially for the fact that this will be the first time we will have a person in an officer position in the seat of vice president since I think the late 90s, early 2000s. So for that, we congratulate you again, Mr. Speaker, for the ascension to represent the CNMI in the position of vice president, and to help our people and the voices of the people in the region as we face many challenges. But together, I think we can come up with solutions and present a position to the people of the world and what the Blue Continent faces, and how we can become better members of our communities and better people for the rest of the world. Thank you for the time, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Attal. Any further under recognize Representative Vincent O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr.
You didn't pay your power bill for your mic.
Right.
Just kidding.
So let me just be the devil's advocate on this issue with, with all the problems that we're having. Okay, I do have a solution, and it might not be a popular solution, and it doesn't just go for the legislature, but it goes for every government agency and government branch. Okay, one of the biggest things that I found out and I know of is that, again, it's not nothing new. It's just the government is overbloated. And, as much as I don't want to say it, it needs to be said. Okay, there's jobs outside that needs to be filled. And we don't have to depend on, all of it, all those jobs being filled by local, because we're never going to have enough people, right? But the government is overbloated and it spends too much. Everybody that works for the government has to be responsible of everything that the government owns, from paper to pen to staplers to whatever. That's government, that's public funds, that's public property. And if we do not hold ourselves accountable to make sure that all of those things are used properly, wisely, responsibly, then maybe we could just save some money and we wouldn't have this big of a headache. Okay, nobody wants to, not a lot of people wants to say this, but the government is overbloated. People need to start looking for a job outside. We cannot afford it. And the people, the public has to also understand that when they keep demanding the government to provide some sort of service, guess what? That service ain't free. If you got a big government, guess what you're going to have? A big taxing problem that nobody wants. So we're trying to do our very best with the resources that we have. But I also understand that we do squander a lot. And we have to hold ourselves accountable for all of it. So yes, I am being, that is my, proposed solution. Reduce the size of the government, reduce your spending, pay your debt. In that way, when the government pays its debt, then the vendors can pay their BGRT. And then we could give the money right back out to the people through the services that needs to be paid, through the BGR tax. So that might be like a massive horse pill that everybody has to follow, and nobody wants to hear it. But when the public is demanding that the government do something, then hey, reduce your demand on the government. I will try to cut down. I mean, believe it or not, I'm as a legislator, I make $700 every 2 weeks. Compare that to everybody, to a lot of other people that work, in the government. We don't get paid much. But yet we work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's hard. But we do it anyways. So the people have to understand that, yes, we are trying to find a way. And yes, we need to reduce the government. But at the same time, the public also have to understand that stop demanding the government do all kinds of things, because it does cost money. And the only way the government makes money is by taxing. As much as we don't like it, the more you ask of the government, the more the government is going to tax. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Aldan. Floor is still open under miscellaneous. Ready? Ready? All right. We move down to item number 18, announcements. Any floor is open for announcements. Ready? All right. Before we, I'd like to announce that for those going to APIL, we'll meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the conference room to finalize everything for our for the APIL. Okay, with nothing further under announcement, I recognize the floor leader for adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Subject to the call of the speaker, I move for adjournment.
Before I move for the vote, just a reminder that we'll take a group photo with Mr. Mafnes. All right, a motion has been made for adjournment and it has been seconded. Any discussions? Ready? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Session's adjourned. Thank you, colleagues.